Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Chanel Les Beiges Poudre. Okay, I'm going to say it in English. Les Beiges Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder in the shade Light Coral. And I also have it in medium rose gold. So if you wanted to see my thoughts on these products and how they look once applied, then just keep watching. Okay, so here we have the medium rose gold. So you can see there's definitely a sheen in there. So a sheen at the top, which is obviously the highlight, and then the bronzing powder, and then the blush, which is kind of more of like a kind of hot pink shade. And then this is the light coral. So we have the highlight, bronzer, and then the coral. It's definitely more muted than I expected it to be, the blush shade, but I will do some swatches for you right now. So here is the, sorry, I have laundry right below me here. Here are the swatches for the medium rose gold. So left to right would be the highlight, the bronzer, and then obviously the blush. And now we have the light coral. So we have the highlight, the bronze, and then the blush. Actually looks very similar to the medium rose gold. So hopefully it looks a little more coral on the face. Okay, so I think we're gonna try the medium rose gold first. So this is what she looks like. So obviously I'm not a medium, I'm a light, but what I think I'm gonna do, obviously I can't use this as a highlight. I'm gonna mix the two, so it'll just be like a little bit of a bronzer with a sheen, and then I'll use this as a blush, obviously. So I think I'm gonna go in with a fluffier type brush here. Go in with this guy. And I'm going to do one on one side and one on the other. And I know there is a little bit more warmth in these bronzers than I think some people were kind of hoping for. I do think they should have offered more shades with like cool tones, but that's just me. And from what I've heard, I spoke to the Chanel rep at Shoppers Drug Mart, and it sounded like these are not limited edition. So I know we probably didn't have to rush to buy these, but if you are thinking about it and you just don't have the funds right now or something, then I think you can definitely wait and maybe check out people's videos, because I think you probably don't need more than one. Like, I was just being kind of stupid, but I couldn't make up my mind on the two. I feel like if I could have picked over again, I probably would have picked just this one, but that's just me. Sorry, somebody's going crazy on a motorcycle out there. So this is what it looks like with just the two bronzer shades mixed together, the highlight and the bronzer. So I think that looks pretty nice. Just gonna blend it out a little bit here. And I'm wearing the Fenty foundation again today. I've been really liking it. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with the blush. I don't know which brush I want to use. Let's see. I might have some brushes in here that I haven't used ever. I do. Go in with this little guy. What is this? Pharmacy brush. It's just a little blush brush here. And go in with that brighter pink tone. Ooh, this is pretty. So from what I've heard, I don't have any of the blushes from the winter collection, but from what I've heard, this is a similar formula. So that's good. And they definitely have pigment, as you can tell. And it does have a bit of a sheen to it. It's very pretty. I'm happy with this. I'm just going to intensify it just a tiny bit more. I don't know how I feel about this brush, but the shade is really pretty. Okay, so that's medium rose gold. So I don't have a highlight to use, so I'll probably just use the highlight from the light palette. So I'm going to just blend that in a bit. So now we're gonna go in with the light coral, which is here. And like I said, I'm gonna go in with that highlight. Here's my brush. See what that looks like. Ooh, that's pretty. It's not over the top, it's just enough. It's just like a very pretty wash of a highlight. I like that. Okay, so let's go in with this bronzer here. Again, I don't know what brush I want to use. Let's go in with, this is just an Eco Tools bronzer brush here. It's old. Tap that off. And what's strange to me is that this light coral bronzer is pretty much the same shade, if not a little bit even darker than the medium rose gold, which I find strange. It doesn't go overly warm on me. I know a lot of people are having that issue, and I do have enough room, even though it's a big brush, to just get right into the bronzer. I almost wish the highlight was a little bit smaller, the bronzer was a little bit bigger, and the blush was a little bit bigger, but I think it's fine. Doesn't seem like anybody had any real complaints about that. Okay, so going with the bronzer again, just on the cheeks here. And then I'll go under the jawline. And I'll probably end up mixing the two blushes after, just so we can get a more cohesive look. But I think the bronzers look pretty well the same once they're on the skin. Pretty. I'm gonna blend that out a little bit. So did you guys pick these up? If you did, how do you like them? You loving them? You hating them? What's the impression? Okay, now we're gonna go in with the coral. Saw Tanya B. Wells review these, and they looked beautiful on her. I think she had this same two shades as I do. And she said if she would just pick one, she probably would have picked the medium coral. But for me, the medium coral, the highlight just looked way too dark. So I was like, I don't think that would work for me. I thought about it because Sophia Sees Beauty also reviewed that one, and she said she would also pick that one, but I just don't think it would have worked. So they don't look too different. I mean, I can tell that this is obviously like a warmer shade than this, but on the face, I don't really feel like you could see too much of a difference. Do you need both? No. I mean, to me, it's nice to have like the actual highlight, and then it's nice to have like a glowy type bronzer in the medium. But is there enough of a difference? Probably not. So that is medium rose gold, and this is the light coral. I think they're both very pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I will kind of like add the two together just so we could get a more cohesive look, and I will be back. All right, so here's the completed makeup look, very similar to what I was wearing the other day. If I'm in a hurry or if I just want to get my makeup done quick, I'll usually use the Merit single shadow, the solo shadow, sorry, in the shade Vachetta, which is like that kind of mustardy type camely tone. And then in the crease, I just used my Makeup by Mario, the Master Mattes palette, and I think I just used this shade here and then this shade right there. So that would be 4 and 6. And then, oh, and then the number 1 just right in the inner corner. And then I used my eyeliner by Hourglass, the Voyeur eyeliner in the shade Cave, just in the upper waterline. And on the actual lid, I used, I don't know where it is now, but it was the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in the shade Cinnamon. And so that's what I have just on top. And then mascara, I just have the Huda One Coat Wow mascara. And before that, I just used the Huda Faux Filter Corrector in the shade Cherry Blossom and the Tower 28 concealer in the shade BU. And I think that's everything. Lips, just use the shade Tan from Makeup by Mario. And then I use the shade Haze from ABH mixed with Lorna Doone from Gucci. And I think I kind of want a little bit cooler toned, so I'm not sure what to use. I'm just gonna go in with like Love Love. And I think this is discontinued. I'm so sorry. I'll try to find a dupe for that one. So yeah, that is what I have going on. So right now I have the cool toned. This is the medium rose gold on this side. And then on this side, I have the light coral. So now I'm going to mix them together, use a little bit of this coral shade on the other side here. And I do want to compare the blushes to the blush from the spring collection. So it still looks pretty pink. Is it getting cooler toned? What's happening? So it was the brush I used for the coral shade. And then we'll go in with the pinky tone. On this side. And my face will eat up blush, so I kind of go extra heavy because I know within like an hour it definitely fades quite a bit. Still trying to give it a little bit of a good blend here. So that's the two mixed together. Definitely a cooler toned look now. But yeah, let's just compare to the Rose Coquillage blush. So this is what it looks like. And then this is the medium rose gold. So we'll compare the pink shades. This one, I feel like you definitely have to push a little harder to get a little bit more pigment from the spring collection compared to these newer ones. Okay, so this one's definitely cooler toned. This is the pink from the Rose Coquillage. This is the medium rose gold. And then we'll try the more coral shade next to it. I still do really love that blush though, the spring one. I wore it the other day and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I really enjoy this. But again, it is more matte, a little bit harder pressed. So you're not gonna get quite as much pow for pigment. Okay, so you can see that sheen in there. That top one is the light coral, and this one is the Rose Coquillage. Rose Coquillage. So similar, but I would say this one has almost a little bit more pinky tone to it and definitely has a little bit of glow, whereas this one is more matte. So not super similar, but do you need all of them? Probably not, but I feel like these would be really nice for travel because then you have your bronzer and your blush in one. And these do not come with a little protection pack thing like the Chanel usually has. A little pouch, that's the word I was looking for, a little protection pouch. But yeah, okay, so my final thoughts. First of all, I feel like I need to just magnify my forehead a little bit. There we go. So my final thoughts on these two. Do I think you need both? I don't think you need both. And I was told that, well, I wasn't personally told that, but I saw people say that in their videos as well. It just depends what you prefer. Like I said, I've had a lot of coral shades lately, so I kind of wanted to go with the pinky tone, but then I do have a lot of these kind of pinky tones from last year, so I don't know. I really like both. It's hard to decide which I prefer because I like that this one has a highlight, but I have a ton of highlights, so I don't necessarily need a new one. And this one, I like that you have that like shimmery bronze to it. I would probably go with this one if I had to pick between the two, but I am glad to have both. And I do think they look really nice mixed together. And yeah, I do think it would make a great gift if you are looking for Mother's Day. But again, don't feel like you need to go out and rush and buy this as soon as it comes out, because like it was kind of crazy. I called shoppers and they're like, oh, they're not out yet, but all of ours are spoken for. And I'm like, what? Which I guess I'm the same as those people, but I did not know that they were not limited edition. So I will find out for sure, but I did speak to her and she's a rep for Chanel. So I would assume that she knows better than I do. But yeah, it doesn't look like on the box, it doesn't say limited, it doesn't say exclusive. So I assume that they are not. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt, but yeah, I think they are very beautiful. I'm not upset to have them, but do I think you need to go and rush to get them immediately? If you don't have the money for it, no, they're still going to be around. So don't feel like you need to rush, and check if you have these types of shades in your collection already. I feel like I definitely do, but again, I'm not upset. I'm happy to have both of them, and I am happy with my purchase. And I do feel like the bronzer is very, very smooth. It just gives that kind of perfected look to the skin, and everything just kind of glided on, and I've had no issues with the pigment. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.